Happy Monday. How are you? I hope you're good. Thank you for joining me here today. As you recall, we are here working on a Star Wars databank for Alexa. Excuse me, man, we're going to cough all the way through this maybe. It is Monday, November 11th. Some exciting stuff coming up. If you're a Disney Plus subscriber, I've got my subscription starting tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. There's some good stuff like the TV show The Mandalorian that I'm looking forward to, which plays really well into this Star Wars databank that I'm working on. What else is going on? I've got a big talk that I'm giving at Amazon's conference called reInvent that's coming up the first week of December, the week right after the United States Thanksgiving. Man, it's going to be one of those days. And so I'm working on that as well. Hoping to do some fun stuff while I'm in Vegas, so should be really busy. But I'd like to give a quick recap and some discoveries that I've made since the last time that we worked on this skill. So the first thing that I want to do is show you some data, and then we'll use the skill to query it about some of that data to see if we're getting our answers the way we expect them to. And then I want to show some conflicts that I discovered that I didn't realize were there, and the Alexa Developer Portal found for me. So let's start there. Let's flip over to everything, and we can look at some of my data. And you can see in here that I have things like a list of characters, and as this loads, you can see I don't have all of them certainly, but I have a large number, 100-something characters from the Star Wars universe, and the same goes for a lot of this other data. I have droid names, so you see things like C-3PO in here. These are generally droids that had some kind of on-screen interaction. They were more like a character than they were just a type of droid, though we do have a droid type data also, which is things like an inventory droid or a liaison droid. I probably should have one in here for C-3PO, but he is a protocol droid. I was thinking he was an interpreter, but he's a protocol droid. And so all of the types of droids are here, but we have weapons and technology and things. Things are things that don't fit in other categories, like Han Solo's dice. The Boonta Eve Classic was the race that Anakin won on Tatooine in Episode 1, the pod racing race. And Sabacc is a card game that was played in the movie Solo. That's supposed to be a really well-known game, and I think I have a picture of the cards here if we open this up. Yeah, that's what the cards from the game look like. So we have all this data, and we'll continue to add more data as we go. But we need to be able to see how Alexa actually uses this stuff. And so the way that this is all structured is we have a bunch of intents, right? So when we think about Alexa, we have intents. These are the things a user would ask for. And they might ask us about a character. And so I have one called character intent, and they might say things like, who is Han Solo, or give me information about Darth Vader, or tell me about Luke Skywalker, or whatever. But this character indicates all of the possible characters that we have in our data. Then we have a droid intent and a creature intent. And it just goes on and on with all the different data types that we have. So let me show you how this works. I can flip over to this view, and I have my Echo Show 5 here in front of me. There won't be anything on the screen, but you can at least see the skill interacting with me. Alexa, open Star Wars Databank.
I am AL3XA, Human-Cyborg Relations. How may I be of assistance?
Tell me about C-3PO.
You asked me about C-3PO. C-3PO is a droid programmed for etiquette and protocol, built by the heroic Jedi Anakin Skywalker, and a constant companion to Astromech R2-D2. Over the years, he was involved in some of the galaxy's most defining moments and thrilling battles, and is fluent in more than 7 million forms of communication. In the years after the Empire's defeat, C-3PO served Leia Organa, becoming the head of a resistance spy ring aimed at undermining the First Order. How may I be of assistance?
Quit. Okay, so you can see that's a very brief introduction, but they all basically work the same way. We ask for a specific thing, it goes to the appropriate intent, it grabs the data for that specific item, the entity, whatever it might be, if we look back at our data, and it reads that thing. So if I go back to droid and I find C-3PO, you will see that I have a description that looks like this. And this description is the thing that Alexa just read to us. So she says this thing. If I had written the code for it, she would have also shown this nice picture of him. And then we we move on and we ask, what else would you like to know about? Now, we're going to build a lot more into this. One of the things that I want to do is flip this around so that it's not just you asking about a character, because if you know the name of the character, it's likely you probably also know other information about that character. But what I want to do instead is maybe read you a description that's a little vague and have you guess who the person I'm talking about is, so it becomes more like a game. So we'll do that eventually, but the stuff that I want to make sure I'm working on right now is getting all of this stuff in order. We did some really nice refactoring to consolidate all of our code down into almost one function the last time we were here. So I want to walk us through the code and get us to a place where we're really looking deeply at what's going on inside this skill. And then if we have time today, we'll even start working on the game side of things. But I think I'm probably going to need another description, because I can't say... I can't read this description and then say, who is this? Because most of my descriptions have the name of the person directly in the description, which kind of defeats the purpose. So we'll look at all of that as we go. All right, so that's a quick tour of the skill as it works today, and our data. But there's this cool thing that I found in the developer portal, in the developer console, that I was not expecting. I've been entering data. I've invited a couple of other people to help me enter data as well. And one of the things that I found was that it was giving me these conflicts. So right here at the top of the developer portal is this utterance conflicts, and it said I had 18. And I was very surprised because I thought I'd been very specific with my data. And I noticed that it said that this Iowa, which is a creature that lives on the planet of Camino where they made all the drones. It's like this big kind of like stingray looking thing with big arms and wings, but it seems to be able to go underwater and fly. And much, much larger than you would think of a stingray. So I have this Iowa, and then I have Alina. These are like a little kind of comical-looking, hairy characters with big eyes. And it seemed weird to me that it was saying that, hey, if you say that word, I don't know if you're talking about creature or species. I have a conflict here. And so I went and looked, and lo and behold, I've already fixed it, but I actually had the creature and the species. I had the name of this thing in both. And my rule for my data is, if it is a type of character that interacts in the movie in the movies or the TV shows or anything in any way, then it becomes a species. It's a type of character, basically. And if it's just a background thing, a good example of this might be like a Tauntaun, right? We don't have the name of any of the Tauntauns. They don't speak or interact with anyone. The only on-screen interaction we have with Tauntauns is a couple of people riding them in Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and then, of course, the one that Han slices open to put Luke inside to keep him warm. But we don't know that it's not a character so much as it is... it's not so much a character as it is just a creature that happens to be around. So that's kind of my differentiation between what is a creature and what is a species of a character. And so for both of these, there aren't any specific Iowas that we have interaction with or names or anything like that. So it should just be a creature. And when I went and looked, that entry was in both. And the same for Alina. And so you can see that it gave me a bunch of interactions, conflicts for Iowa and Alina. But then there was also this Neeper's Panpick. This is a character from the movie Solo. And he was listed as both a location and a character, and it turns out that I had just entered some data. His entire row of data was entered as a location and a character, so all I had to do was go delete that, and that was fixed. And so you can see here I have Neepers listed as both a character and a location. And then down here I have Iowa and Alina. These are both listed again. But the one that I haven't been able to fix, and the first thing I wanted to do was show you that I have fixed these things, and so I can come in here and I'm going to do an ask deploy. I'll slap a little force on it so that it does all the stuff that I want it to do. But it's going to re-push my model as it stands today, which removes Neeper's Panpick from location, it removes Iowa from species, and it removes Alina from creature, because there is a named character in, I think, Solo that is that species. And I was looking that up here. So if we look at Alina, this is Rats Tyrell is an Alina, and he was a pod racer, so I'm assuming this is probably from Episode 1. We might only see him briefly, him or her, I actually don't know, but it was in The Phantom Menace, and then it was also in Star Wars The Clone Wars. So this is a good way to understand that this is not a creature, this is a character with a species, and that's kind of the differentiation that I make there. So one of the things I noticed that I did not open, that I'm failing to do, is the chat. And I don't know if anyone is asking or saying anything. So let me open that up here really quickly, and then I can interact with all of you that might be tuned in here. So I'll do this. Maybe. Don't need to watch that. This, and then pop out chat. Not really how I wanted it to go, but we'll make it work here in just a moment. So we'll take this. Mail can go away. Texting can go away. And we'll bring this over here like this. This is not really how I wanted this to go. Let's see if I can do this again. Man. It's because I had my browser full screen. So let's try unfull screening my browser and try that again so I can get the right shape of the window that I want. And I don't see any questions or comments so far, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but if you have something to say, I haven't been watching until right now, and I apologize for that. But if you have a comment or just want to say hello, I would love to say hello. This is the most newbie asking, what am I doing? That's a great question. I am in the process right now of building an Alexa skill for Alexa. I'm sorry, Alexa skill for Star Wars. So everything that we're looking at here, everything that we're paying attention to is how do we build an Alexa skill that allows someone to ask about any possible character or vehicle or whatever in the Star Wars universe. So we'll get rid of this browser, and we'll just live with that for now. The Lord of Sound, thank you for joining. I apologize for forgetting to open the chat, everybody. So I hope I haven't missed much. But this is what we're looking at. So I'm building an Alexa skill, and as we talked about with the code here, I have an entire code base that basically takes the information that I get from Alexa and it says, oh, are they asking about one of these things? If they are asking about one of those things, then I want to go out and I want to get the data from my database for that thing, and I want to respond back to the user with that information. What this means, though, is that I have a whole bunch of code I haven't deleted yet, so let's do that. So I'm going to go character intent handler, and I'm going to get rid of that. And droid, and creature, and vehicle, and weapon, and technology. There's a lot of them. Thing, location, species, organization, media, and that's the one that I'm going to have to look at a little bit. Actually, I'm going to leave the media one. I think I didn't include that in my initial top thing. And then I have a help intent handler, and if someone says cancel or stop. So up here, I don't believe I had media involved. So media is kind of broken out in its own separate thing. So awesome. The winning lottery numbers, man, I'm sorry I missed that. That would have been useful. Would given me more time to work on this, that's for sure. Hello, startup. Thank you for joining. It's always good to have you here. Yeah, so I'm continuing to work on this thing, and I have, like I said, I have enough data to really do a lot of testing. I'll have to finish a lot of this data. There's a lot missing, but it's enough to do some unified testing on and really get a feel for whether or not the skill's working and whether I'm getting conflicts or whatever. So I had another browser. Where did that go? Is it over here? Oh, I minimized it. Nope, not Slack. Chrome. And we'll go to the developer console. And we'll bring this one up here. And the thing that I was showing was that I had a bunch of conflicts. So now that we look at my code and we can see that everything has been pushed and uploaded, I should be able to come back in here to my conflicts. I'm just going to refresh this page. And what we should see is that I should have far fewer conflicts now. I'm still going to have a couple. Alina, it still thinks, is both a species and a creature. I thought I had gotten rid of that. But the one that I'm really hung up on is Solo. And I'm not sure exactly how to handle this. Because are they talking about the movie or are they talking about the character? Now, I would think if you were asking me about Han Solo, you would probably say Han Solo. And if you're asking about the movie, you'd probably say Solo. So it feels like the first solution for this conflict is to take Solo away as a synonym. So if I look at my data, because this is where all this comes from, I can come in character and I can come down here to Han Solo, and I have Solo listed as a synonym. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And to make this easier on myself, one of the things that I've done down here at the end is I have a column that is the JSON basically that I need. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to come over to my code for my model and say when I look at my character list, which is down here somewhere, yeah, this is my list of characters. I'm just going to take all of my characters, including Han Solo, which is right here. You can see it has Han and Solo as synonyms. And I'm going to take all of them and delete them and then paste the new ones in. Like that. And so now you can see, this is the easiest way for me to kind of update this stuff. I don't have an automated script. But if I had made any other changes, those would come through now as well. But you can see I have Han Solo, and then I only have Han as his synonym, which I think is probably fine. I don't know that people refer to him as Solo. And if you end up with the movie, I think that's probably okay. I could do weird things like disambiguation where I say, oh, did you mean Han Solo the character or Solo the movie? But I'm trying to avoid those situations as much as possible because it's just another step in getting to what you want to get to. So I'm making some assumptions that if you say Solo, that you mean... in fact, I should check and see if I have any other Solos. Han Solo's Dice, Han Solo movie. I don't have Ben Solo in here, which is good. And I don't know that I will because that's really just Kylo Ren. I probably have a synonym for Kylo Ren that is Ben Solo. We'll do that here. I'll need to add that to my database too, but Ben Solo we'll add there just because that's his given name, I guess. And then in here I can go find Kylo Ren. And I hate making changes in two places, which is why I kind of gave myself the way to do that. So we'll put Ben Solo in here as a synonym. So the next time I copy all this stuff, it won't get lost or anything like that. Oh, there's a question. Lord of Sound, is that Airtable that you're using for your skill data? It absolutely is Airtable. It's a very easy way to manage and manipulate my data. And like I said, I have a couple of other people that are contributing with me. And this is a great, easy interface for people to be able to add data. And anything that's in this table is instantly live on the skill, so I don't have to go through any kind of additional certification or anything like that. I might be lying a little bit about that. If I add a new entity, I would have to go through certification because I would have to get them into the slot value. But modifying or changing any of my descriptions or images or anything like that, all of that doesn't require any kind of change in certification or anything. All this data is live, basically. Okay, so I have modified that a little bit. We're going to go back here and we're going to push through. I need to move this up a little bit just so I can see it. Let's clear that out. Whoop, no, that's not what I wanted. I want to come in here and I want to clear so we can actually see it. And then I'll do the same thing I did a second ago where I'm going to deploy everything because I have to deploy my model that has these new changes in it. And I don't think I made any changes to the code other than delete some things, but that's okay. I haven't. Let's see if I can get rid of it fast enough. So we'll get rid of character through media. It says my interaction model is not valid anyway, so I screwed something up there. So let's take a look. What is broken? Ooh, I have an empty one. Is there an empty row in my data that I wasn't aware of? My character, there is an empty character data row. Well, isn't that fun? Well, that's a nice little way to discover what would have been a big bug. That's fixed. Now I can just come back here and get rid of that first row which has no data in it. And we should be off and running. So let's try this again. So we'll try deploying again and see if I broke anything else. Hopefully not. Looks like it's going. So the model is being pushed. Let me see if I can unmaximize this. This works much better if I put everything on the same screen and just flip between them, because then I can see the chat and everything else, and you guys can see the whole console. So we'll do this. I was running a little behind in getting set up for this stream today. I've been traveling for the past week, which is why I haven't been here. And I was in Denver for not this past weekend, but the weekend before that. I was there for a Browns game. It was a blast. We lost, but it was a good time. And then I immediately went from Denver to Brazil. I went down to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and I spent the week there talking with a bunch of developers because we have launched Portuguese as one of our languages for Alexa. And so I was down there talking to them in English because I don't speak Portuguese very well. And was down there talking to them about how to build skills and how to think about design and how to go through a lot of stuff. And I got to use this Star Wars thing as a bit of an example, but I also used TKO Trivia, which is something else that I've spent a lot of time working on and is still going through beta currently. So I've made a lot of good improvements based on the beta data that I've gotten, which has been super useful because you just can't possibly imagine all the ways people are going to say things to your skill and the ways that it will frustrate it and make them angry and make them respond. And I've captured all of that and been able to try to really make it better. So it's been a very interesting process to go through. Okay, we've got everything updated here. So I'm going to come back here and look at my browser. And we're going to go to the developer console. And I was supposed to remove Alina also, and I didn't do it because I'm a failure. So let's come into, what was Alina in? Alina was species and creature. We decided it was not going to be in creature. So the first thing to do is to come into creature and remove Alina, and I did it there, but I think I didn't do it in the code. So let's go to creature, which is down here a couple. Droid, vehicle, weapon, thing, location. No, I must have missed it. Character, droid, weapon, vehicle, location, species, organization, media. Where's the creature? Why do I feel like I'm missing that all of a sudden? Character, droid. What? They're in the same order as my table names. Character, droid, creature. It should be the third one. Droid, creature. Don't know why I missed that before. So we decided Alina is not going to be in here. So we're just going to remove that. And we'll push just the front end this time so I can do target model. And that will allow me to just push out the model because I haven't made any changes to the code. And so once we do this, we should be in a place where I feel pretty good about our conflicts. I'm still not loving how I'm handling the solo solution, but I think it's okay for now. And we'll see how it goes going forward. Any questions about this stuff so far? Is there anything that seems curious or you're wondering why it works a certain way or anything like that? I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have as we go through this. All right, so I'm going to go back to my code now and look at the developer console and look at my conflicts. Refresh this. See what we've got. Because we fixed a lot of things. Ooh, look at that. So based on our latest successful build, we don't have any utterance conflicts. So this is really good. Utterance conflicts can be really frustrating for your user because they're saying the right thing, but you have a place where they're forced to make a choice, or they're being taken to the wrong place, which is even worse. And so being able to clear out your conflicts, unless there's a necessary reason for them, I think is a really valuable way to improve your skill. So now if I come into evaluate model, this is also a cool thing to try. You can just type in solo, for example, and it'll tell me where it landed. It says, oh, that's the media intent. We're talking about media solo. Hawk 2000 asks, how do I store my secrets for Airtable? I can show you how I do that. I'm not going to show you the secret itself, but if you go to my code, up here at the very top, I have Airtable listed here, and then when I actually call out to Airtable, which is like, let's see, if I do get item speech, I think this is the place that I do that. I have a place where I call out to Airtable, which is get random speech. This gets buried a little bit. But I have this piece right here. So this is the secret key that points out to my Airtable. And all I'm doing is creating an environment variable in Lambda that allows me to do this. So I can show you where you do this, but I'm not going to show you mine, obviously. I'll just show you a random lambda function because I don't want to show my stuff on screen. But if we go to AWS and we go take a look at some other lambda function. No, I don't want to create an account. That was a mistake. All right, so if I come into Lambda, and inside Lambda, we'll find a function that doesn't have any valuable data in it, like delete me. This seems like a good one to show off. The place that you can store these is down here below the code in what we call environment variables. And so you give it a name, so you might call it Airtable key or whatever, and then you drop your value here, which is usually something like this, and then you save it. And so then to refer to these environment variables, you just do what I've done here, which is process.env.the name of your key. And I actually use two different Airtables. I use one for speech and one for data. And so that's why I have Airtable-based speech and Airtable-based data, which you can see in the next one, so that I'm talking to the appropriate table. And then out here at the end, this is just my own custom function for this, but I pass in a filter, and so this filters down the data that I'm looking for. So in this case, I just want it to get me out of a very specific table anything that's not disabled, and that's what this is disabled false is. But for getting specific data, this is where I want it to be not disabled, but I also pass it a specific record ID, and record ID is a column out of my table. And so then this is the name of that table. So if we go look at some of my data, which we can do here, and go in here, I can show you that I have two tables. I know there's a bunch here, but the only two I'm using are these two circle ones. This was an old architecture I just haven't deleted. But if I look at speech, for example, I have a goodbye table. I don't even have any real data in there, but I have action queries. These are things like, how can I be of assistance? And so in here, if it is disabled, then it will not pull this. It will never use this data because I pull these records and randomly grab one, so I will never pull it because it's disabled. And then I also pull based on locale. So if I had additional data for additional countries, it would only pull the ones for the locale of the user, which is also super handy. So these are little tweaks that I've made to my data as I've gone, because I've realized as I want to grow internationally or do more complicated things, this is a very good way to tag my data so that I don't run into those kinds of problems. And then for welcome, of course, I just have the one as well, but same structure for almost all of these. So Hawk 2000, I hope that answers your question, but that's how I store environment variables, and you can do those for all sorts of things, any API keys that you might be using. That's the place to store them. You could certainly store them in your code, but for what I do here, especially live streaming my stuff in front of dozens, sometimes hundreds of people, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm giving those keys away and people can go change or delete my data. All right, thank you. I agree. I think it's super cool. Okay, so we're gonna go back to my code, and we need to do some stuff. We haven't really written any new functionality yet. And so the first thing I think that I really want to do, I have my launch request handler, and this is just where I welcome the user. This is where it will say, hello, I'm AL3XA. That's my Star Wars style Alexa name, AL3 instead of EXA. And then I ask them what they want to do. And I probably should have a few more of those. So it's always very tempting when I'm just standing here to come up with some other action queries. This is the term that I personally use for the thing that I tack on to the end of sentences when I've given the user the thing they want, and then I want to give them the opportunity to ask for more. So that's one good example. I might do NUS and then say I never like to say is. How may I be of assistance is a good one because it's kind of open-ended and leaves them some options. What else can I provide information about? So we'll just add that as another one so it's mixed in a little more random. Eventually, like at the time that I go to production, in a perfect world, there'd be 10 or 12 of these minimum, because it'll randomly grab one every time it needs to ask the user a question. And in fact, I hate the word what else. because like the first couple of times someone uses it, this assumes like they've already gotten some information. What? No, what else? I'm just going to do what else. This is one of those things where I feel like I might need to break this into like action query first and action query else, so that the first time I'm asking them stuff, I don't say things like, what else would you like to know about? Because I haven't told them anything yet. And if that's the first thing that I say to them, it sounds a little weird. But a problem to be solved at a later date. So we have a couple of responses, we have our data, we have what happens at the very beginning, and all I do is take the welcome message that I get, put the action query on the end, and I'll say, I'm AL3XA, Human Cyborg Relations, what can I help you with? And then we move on from there, and then the user says something, and we land here, and this is where I put together my random speech, and I'll say, oh, you asked me about C3PO, and then I give them all the stuff. So for the media, right now I still just say, oh, you've asked me for a media, and I did that on purpose just because it sounded strange. But this is when someone says the name of a movie or a Star Wars TV show. And I would want to give them the same kind of response, but I feel like I'm going to want to handle this differently, because I'm not only going to say like, oh, this is episode 4, it was released on this day, but I might also say like, you can ask me about any of the characters or whatever. I haven't figured out what I want to say here yet, but I feel like there's more to it, because I'm not going to have a really long description for the movies themselves. I think that's too in-depth. I probably should also tell them that I'm working on gathering data. I have some of it in here already. If we go to media, let me go back to my data table. We can look at that. It's way out here at the end. But one of the things that I'm interested in is being able to show people like the opening crawl of a movie or a trailer for that movie, so that they could say, oh, like, show me the trailer from episode 1, right? And that should work, and it works on devices with a screen. And of course, if they don't have a screen, I'll have to tell them I can't do that, or I can just play the music for them or something. But I've actually found like the raw video files for like, this is the opening crawl for episode 1. Some audio up here. And so the idea is, on a device with a screen, I could show them this, and so they could see the opening crawls from each of the movies. Now, it's only the crawl, it's not the whole movie. But the same thing could be done for trailers and some other stuff. So that might be an interesting thing to build today. That's a cool thing to build, because I already have some data. And I've never done anything with video on an Alexa skill using like APL or anything, so that might be a good exploration for me. So yeah, let's do that. Let's figure out how to build an intent that allows the user to ask for the trailer for a movie, and then we will show the trailer, or we'll do the trailer or the opening crawl, and we'll have to think about synonyms and how all that stuff's going to work, but we'll figure that out together. So if you have thoughts or ideas as I go through this, please chime in. This is a collaborative effort, and I would love to have your feedback. So the first thing I need to do is go to my model, and I need to create a new intent that we'll keep down here near media, because it has the same slot type. So we'll take all of this, and we'll just bump it right there. And this is going to be, boy, media is now the wrong word, but we'll call this video intent, I guess. And this can all be the same, but this thing we're gonna change our samples to say, show me the media. No, we're gonna do this even more. Trailer. What do you mean if you put the mic close to the speaker? Oh, you mean I see you're just making a joke about me getting feedback. I took me a minute, but I got there. Thank you for the joke. I'm going to make this the trailer intent. Show me the trailer, and then we'll just do like media trailer. Can I see the media trailer. Show the trailer for media. Just trying to think of how. And I always need to think about the one shot, which is for the media trailer. Ask Star Wars Databank to show the trailer for episode 1. That's probably sufficient for now. There's always more I could add, but we have the trailer intent, and we'll just work on the trailer for now. And I'll show you where I'm going and grabbing these. I have 2 philosophies on this, and I don't know which one's right. Maybe you guys can give me your opinions on how you would handle this. The video that I showed, the link that I had, you'll see if I go back here, and we'll close this. The links that I have here, these are links to the actual media files that are located directly on the Star Wars website. So part of me feels like these are publicly available and I'm just linking to them, and that's generally fine. And then part of me feels like my skill stops working if they move those files or whatever. Maybe I should make my own copies, and that feels less ethical. I don't know what the right answer is. But they're not my property, and I don't feel like I should ever make them my property. So I don't know how you guys have generally handled this, but I feel like, at least for now, I'm going to point directly to their media files, and then if they decide that they don't like that, or my skill becomes popular and they're incurring the costs of all that that video, then I don't know, maybe I'll have to figure something else out at that point. But those are problems to be solved when I have a big audience and it's a lot of traffic. Do a YouTube search, then embed the YouTube player, completely legal syndication. Lord of Sound, I don't think I can do that on the screen of a device. That's the trick. Because on a Echo device, I don't have the ability to embed the YouTube player. I have the ability to play a video from an HTTPS URL. And so I need to figure out like what the right process is here. But I feel like pointing to a publicly available file on the internet feels okay. But again, this is more of a... we did make nice with YouTube. There is a YouTube skill, but you can't, in your own skill, embed a YouTube player. I don't think so. I'll have to look into that, but I don't think that you can do that in your own skill. They use a different video player on the device, and all I can do is feed it the URL to that file. But these are all things for me to learn. So if you have something inside a third-party skill that's showing a YouTube video raw, I would love to see how that works, and I would love to use it, because a lot of this stuff does exist on YouTube. But my concern with any of that is that those files could disappear at any moment, and if they do, then it looks like my skill's broken, which is obviously bad. So the more I can protect myself and keep up reliability, even if that means I incur a cost, that feels like the right thing to do. I don't know. Okay, so I have the trailers for The Phantom Menace and nothing else. So let's go get one more. We'll get episode 4, because that one's fun. Star Wars, if I could type. And in here we can go to films. This is actually a really great website if you're looking for this kind of stuff. So if I come back here a bit, we'll go to A New Hope. And in here they have all of the characters and stuff that's going on in here, but they have a ton of videos. So this is the opening crawl for episode 4 that was done in 1977. That's not actually the one I want, though. We'll take this episode... Well, let's go look at the... What's the best way to dig into this? If I see characters, if I see video, isn't there a more? I thought there was a place where I could see more. Story gallery, locations, technology. None of those are what I really want. I thought that there was a whole bunch more stuff that I'm just not seeing on this page today, which I saw before. So let's go to the Databank. If I say, what if I say A New Hope here? That does not get me what I want because I need to go to Films. This is how I did it last time, but I feel like there was more stuff last time. So we have Phantom Menace. I'll go in order. So we'll do Attack of the Clones. Maybe that has more. It's more newer, right? It's nice that they have that drop down, but it can go away now. All right, so open and crawl. They used to have a whole bunch of videos. I don't understand where they all went. I can't click on this. Galleries, photos, locations, technology. This is all Databank stuff. What if I go to video? What's under here? Search videos, and I do episode 2. This is still different than I remember. It feels like they've changed something. But I want trailer episode 2 Attack of the Clones. This is, they obviously, Star Wars does a lot of trailers, but I was trying to avoid the teasers and try to get like a full, real thing. So we have that, which is great. I love all that. We get the music. I thought the music in episode 2 was pretty good. I remember thinking this trailer was amazing.
I will not let this republic be split in two.
Okay, we're not going to watch the whole trailer, and I'm sure Twitch is going to ban me for even playing that music, but that's okay. So, what I did here was I went to the developer tools, and why am I missing that? Developer tools. I never know the keystroke for that here on my Mac because I have another keyboard that I normally use, and it uses different keys. So we have this now, and then I just do like
My
inspect.
negotiations will not fail.
If they do, there aren't enough Jedi to protect.
So in here, we can go into, if I can find it, embed URL. This is the URL to the video. And if I take this, I should be able to now see it natively. Yeah, okay. So that URL is there. So I just want to come into my media, and for episode 2, we'll do that, and I'll stop the video from playing. Okay, so we have 2 at least. That's good. That's like test data, and then we'll worry about the rest later. But for now, this is good. So now we're in a position where we have this trailer intent, where we can ask for media, and we can say some things, and then we'll come back later, probably not today. We'll see how this goes, because I have a lot to learn about showing video in APL, but we'll get there. I have a trailer intent, and all of that looks clean and good. And then I'm going to need over here something to catch that. So this is very similar. So I'm going to take this piece here, and we'll call this our trailer intent handler. And this is going to be the trailer intent. And you asked me for a trailer. That's fine for now, and then I'll come back and we'll worry about the APL. Right now I just want to make sure I'm landing in the right intent. All of that looks fine. And then down here at the bottom, I've got to add my trailer intent to my list. I think that'll be a relatively popular feature, so we'll add it near the top. Trailer intent handler, comma, save. And now we should be able to deploy the whole thing. If I can do the, there we go. So what this is going to do is push up my model. It's going to push up this new code. And all I'm doing is basically catching that intent and making sure that it all works. Once we have that piece tested and working, so I should be able to say, give me the trailer for episode 1 as an example. And I guess I should check and see in my model, do I have synonyms for these things already? I think I do. Media's down here near the bottom. I have like the Clone Wars and Attack of the Clones. I have episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, so all of those things should resolve pretty nicely. All right, cool. So I should be able to say the movie pretty much how I want to. I think I would more likely say Episode 2, Episode 3, but I might say Revenge of the Sith or Attack of the Clones. And that's okay too. All of those things are already there and working. So I just have to wait for this to deploy. New to login, I agree with you. On the official Star Wars YouTube channel, less likely to have the URL change. I think that's a possibility. I suppose I don't really know what I'm pointing to when I use their URLs. It could be resolving to the same thing. But I would also think that them moving a bunch of videos around on their server seems unlikely too. I don't know. I don't know how to think about that. So we're waiting for our Lambda function to update. I know you guys appreciate the I can't, camera's reversed, I always do this. The little Funkos here behind me, I've got a couple of new ones. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I also got a couple new Star Wars ones. I have this one. It's the medical droid. I thought that was a nice score. And then, I don't know if this is going to appear in the next movie or not, but this is certainly in some of the cartoons, as well as you even meet this character at the Star Wars area of Disney World, the Seventh Sister, which is kind of cool. So a couple new ones showed up while I was gone. I also have Albert Einstein. He's a little high right now, but Albert Einstein showed up. So there's always some new additions. I'm always curious to see if you guys actually notice anything changes behind me, but I'll try to put them there at least for a little while before I move them somewhere else in this room. Okay, so we're all good. Everything's been deployed. So let's talk to our skill, which we can do here. And then we'll obviously be able to see the video when we get that showed as well. So Alexa, open Star Wars Databank.
I am AL3XA, Human Cyborg Relations. What else can I provide information about?
Show me the trailer for Episode 1.
You asked me for a trailer.
Quit. Okay, so that feels good. We can flip back here. That feels good. We're at a point now where I've built an intent, I've built a handler for that, and we're landing in the right place. So the next thing that I need to do, and this is going to be me learning right along with you because I've never done this, is we're going to come into that handler that we created, this new trailer intent handler, and we need to create something that's going to grab that video file. That's going to be the easy part. Getting that URL, I have some pretty easy code used to grab that specific thing. But then I have to figure out how to tell APL or tell the display of the device that I'm on, if there's a display, I need it to show the trailer. So let's go do some searching. So the first thing I'm going to do is come here. I'm going to hope they just give this to me. There's this display that you can play with on the left side of the developer console. This is where you get to the APL design surface. And the first thing it does is give you this set of templates. And guess what? There's no video sample. Okay, so the next step is to do Alexa APL video player. I'm pretty sure that this is a thing. APL video. Look at this, I found the docs. This is always good. So devices that do not support video, I can check that in the context property. That's great. I guess there might be devices that have screens that don't show video. Yeah, note some devices with screens do not support video playback. On a device that does not support video, the video component remains on the screen, but displays no content, so users will see a blank area on the screen. Provide an alternative experience for devices that don't support video. Okay, I can do that. So check the context.viewport.video property to be able to determine whether that exists. So we'll take that little chunk. That's going to be useful later. And I'll just jump into my code and add myself a comment to check that. And then we'll come back into here and see what we actually need to do. What I really want is a sample. That would be the thing. Would be just a sample APL that they're not giving me. boy. Okay. So, what other options do I have here? We have other versions. APL 1.1 or later. Refer to the... Okay, let's actually read this. The video player shows an embedded video or series of videos to play. The embedded video player does not have any controls. Instead, the video player provides the events and commands necessary to build the controls. Skills that use the video component must provide a way to pause the video content by voice and by the use of an on-screen button. Boy, all right, that's a lot. I'm gonna come back to this. I wonder if there's an easier way. Can I just do Alexa video player? Alexa, stop. Is there a non-APL? Because I'm just showing the one video, right? Like, I don't really need the video. I don't want a video app, though. I just want to be able to show a video. Yeah, see, I'm not building a player app, which takes away a lot of the other things that I want to do. So I think I have to go back to the thing I was looking at, which is fine. I hate when there's not a sample. So APL video. Huh. I wonder if the design surface has something in here that I'm not. So let's just go to the image display sample. We'll use this as our basis. And then is there a video? Oh, I think there might be. There is a video control. Okay, so let's take this image here, which is that one, and let's put a video there instead. So I think I can just drag this over like that, maybe. If I take that image and get rid of it, yeah, let's get rid of that, proceed. And then I want to take my video. You're not going to let me drop it in that box, huh? Alright. Fine, I'll play your game. That's not what I want. I want this to be inside the container. Inside the container. And then I'll set a source. We can do that by just setting the source that I have here for episode 1. Copy. This might be pretty good. The URL. And then okay, autoplay. Yes, I would like it to autoplay. I would like it to scale to best fit. Commands to execute. Boy, I don't know the answers to any of that. Okay, so we're gonna download this source just to see what we get here. I don't know if you guys are following me, but this is always new. Every time I come into APL, I feel like I have some new thing that I have to really understand. So I have that file. Let's take a look at that. And in here I have a bunch of stuff, but the things I'm interested in are the URL to my video, which is down here somewhere. Hopefully. There it is. There's my video. Width. I don't love that. I don't know. We can figure out the sizing later. Let's just take this as it is. This is everything. We're going to save it in a new folder. So we're going to save as, and we have to go into my actual code, Star Wars Databank, and we're going to create a new folder inside my Lambda. Is that where I want it? I think it is. Lambda custom. And right here, I'm going to create a new folder called APL. This is what I've done in previous skills as well, and it makes sense because I'm going to be accessing all of this from my Lambda. So I wanted this to be inside the Lambda custom folder. And it's not cooperating because I'm not in the right tool. So if we come here, go to GitHub, go to Star Wars Databank, and go to Lambda Custom. This APL folder should have gone in here, like so. Okay, so we now have our APL folder, and then I'm going to save this inside this APL folder. We're going to call this video player, and we'll save it. And I'm sure I will tweak it a lot, but at least I have the APL thing. And then for the trailer intent handler, now I'm going to go grab another code base that I've used before, which is from TKO Trivia. So let's see if I can find that. It's there. I built myself some helper functions to do some of this. So the first thing that I want to do is this piece here, this add directive. Can I do this way? I think so. So we'll just take this for now. And we'll come back. I'm going to try to simplify what I'm doing here. So I think I can just say like dot add directive. Like that. And we'll come down here, paste in what I had just to see that that's right. Yeah, rb.add directive, and then in here I'm going to need all this stuff. So we'll take this whole chunk, and that goes inside this. And this is, I think this is why I broke it out in my other thing, because I just hate how this makes everything look. But it's an APL render document. I don't care about the token, I don't care about version. And then this APL variable, this is the thing that I defined up here. And so I just need to say APL equals video player. So we'll get this all cleaned up here in just a second. So we'll say var APL equals require, and this is going to be video player .json. And then the last piece that I need to do here is that within APL, I need to change one value, and this is why I built all this structure for TKO, was because in here I want to be able to say the source of that video file, which we find, where did that go? Here. This goes under a bunch of stuff. Okay, I guess we'll just figure this out as we go. Document dot it's part of the document part, yeah. Document, and I gotta be more careful about my scrolling here. So I want to be on this line. Document dot styles. Is it styles? No, it's document dot main template. I need to write some of this down. APL dot document dot main template. Was it capitalized like that? Only the M was lowercase. Dot main template. We're getting there. Dot items. This is going to be an array position, which I hate doing, but that's the first one. That's the second one. It's going to be array position 1 for that piece. Dot, and then in here we got items again. It's going to be item position 3. Dot items 2 technically, and then so 0, 1, 2, and then in here the items are going to be items dot 0 dot source. I'm sorry, items 0 dot source. Items 0 dot source equals, and this is where I'll have to put the video file that I actually have. So we should probably do that. So we got to get the trailer thing that we actually want. So the way that I have done this in the past, if we go to my item descriptor, is that I have to get item speech. Is that really what I want? What am I doing there? What do I return? This is where I get the specific item out of the database. I'm putting all the sentence and everything together, so I'm going to have to have something new for this, because all I really want is the item. Do I have it like get specific get item? No, I don't have that. So we'll have to do this a different way. So I can get rid of this piece. This is good. And all of that is good. Why is return broken? Oh, because I have this thing still open. So I need to get the video file. So which means I need to get the item. So let's come back down here and look at what we've got. We've got get random speech. Get specific data by ID. I don't really have that. What I need is like a get specific data without the ID. Because all I'm going to know... Oh, no, maybe I will know. I think I will know. Let's go look at... Yes, I absolutely will know. This is me being smarter than myself sometimes. But when we look at media, you can see that I have these IDs here. These are the unique identifiers in my database. So yeah, I was way ahead of myself. The previous me from a few weeks ago made my life very easy. So now I just need to get a specific item by ID, and I need to tell it what table I'm looking in, which is media. So I already have the function written that I need, which is get specific data by ID. And all it's going to do is return to me the entire data object, and then I'll need to dig into that and find the very specific trailer URL that I'm looking for. But get specific data by ID is what I want. That's great. I like writing code that gets reused often and frequently, and again and again. Okay, so in here we're going to get rid of this, and instead I'm just going to comment that out because I'm going to probably need speak output at some point, and we're going to do this, which is var trailer. No, we're going to do this var media equals get specific data by ID, and in here I need to provide the name of the table, which in this case is media, and the ID, which I will get out of my slot. And for this, what I want to do is use what I had up here, which is get item speech. I have handler input. No, I must do it down there in the get item speech. So I have a function for this as well, and it's the get resolved words. This is the one that I really care about. So we'll copy that and come back up to my handler, because what I'm trying to do here is make the call to get okay, so I need to wrap some of these things. If resolved words doesn't equal undefined, then we're going to do some cool stuff. I need to bring my speak output back, and it's going to have to be a var because we're going to play with it. And it's going to be, that could just be empty for now, I guess. So if I didn't resolve anything, this means they didn't match any of the media that I currently have, then I need to set speak output equal to, yeah, and that means I'm going to need the other function that I didn't bring with me, which is get spoken words. Copy that, bring this up here, and so what I'm doing, let me make sure I'm explaining myself because this makes a lot of sense in my head, but sometimes I'm not easy to follow. So I have resolved words and spoken words. Spoken words are the words that the user actually said and that were provided as my slot value. And then resolved words are the words that resolved against my slot. So I can say, oh, they said episode 1, but I get the actual, like, episode 1, The Phantom Menace kind of stuff with my resolve value. And the resolve value also lets me know that they matched one of my slots. So, wow, yawn. So it lets me know that, hey, they actually matched something that I possess. And if they were to not match, then it's a very easy way for me to say, oh, you said this, but I don't have any matches for that. So what I'm going to do here is say, you asked me for the trailer to, and this is where we'll dump in spoken words, but I don't think that's the name of a movie or television show from the Star Wars universe. Okay, so that's what happens if I'm not resolved. That means I didn't have a match on my slot at all. I don't even need to look anything up. I can just say that thing. Then if it was resolved, then that's when I'm going to make my call to my database. And that'll happen here. So this is where I'm going to get my specific data by ID. And the ID is going to be, let's see if I can grab that out of here. Nope, I must do that down below too. So let's see. Resolved words.value.id. That's the thing that I want. Okay, so this is the trailer intent handler. In here is where I'm going to pass this. And that's because resolved words wasn't undefined, which means that I do have a match, which means I can grab the first value out of that list and use it. And that's great. It's not ideal, but it's great. And that will allow me to get the media element that the user has requested. Then how are we going to do this? We're going to have to break all this stuff up because things are going to happen at different times. So we're going to create a new var here. This is where I end up breaking up my response builder stuff. So this is handler input response builder. And then a lot of this stuff can move around. So now I can do return RB dot speak and dot reprompt, but I can do the add directive earlier. So I can take this chunk out. Whoop. I'll do it with the keyboard, that's always easier. Okay, so I can take this chunk out and I can add it as I need it. So in here, this is where I'm calling out to get the thing. And then later I'm going to say rb dot add directive. And this is where I'm going to add in the APL document and stuff, so this stuff can go here. Because I don't need that unless I've had a match. And we still haven't checked to make sure that the user has this property, so that'll be something I do after. I'll get it working on my device and then I can check for the other devices. So we'll just leave this right in here like this. The Lord of Sound has just asked me if I'm using the official Ask SDK for Node.js or one of the alternatives. I am using the official one. As an Amazon employee, as someone that works on the Alexa team and spends most of my time out talking to developers about building stuff for Alexa, it would not be in my best interest or Amazon's best interest for me to talk about some other SDK. So I am using the official Node SDK, although you will see that I do make some modifications to how I handle things, like this RB. This is my own custom creation where I break it out into chunks and separate things. They tend to always end up with things like this, but you can't always do that because you need to conditionally add things, and this kind of statement doesn't allow conditional adds. But the straight answer to your question is yes, I'm using the official SDK, although I haven't updated it in a little while, so it's possible I'm missing something. Okay, so we have media. Now I just need to do media.fields, if I could type media.fields, and then if we go look at my table, if I remember what that's called, media.fields.trailer, capital T. So this is going to be trailer. Okay, so this gets us to the point where if we had a resolution, which means we know they said something that's one of our slots, I'm assuming my data is all filled out. That's a bad assumption right now, but it'll be good before we go live. I'm going to get specific data by ID. I'm looking in the media table for the specific ID that I resolve to, and then I'm creating this video player JSON, which we pulled out, and I am specifying that I want to change the value of the source of the video to be the trailer URL that I just provided, and then I'm adding this directive to my RB module, which at this point then I say return RB. So this is going to break horrifically. I would imagine almost certainly I have done something wrong, but we're going to see how it works. So I think everything I need is here. So we're going to try just pushing the lambda, which is around here somewhere. There we go. And Lord of Sound, yes, there is an NPM package for Airtable. It's called Airtable. You can see it here at the top. It's this one right here. I tend not to use their SDK too often. I find that it's much easier for me to customize and direct my my read operations just using an HTTPS call. Either case, they'll return me the JSON, but that's what I use to do that. But for any of my creates or updates or deletes, I use their SDK for sure. Okay. I've pushed all of my code. We're going to flip over to Alexa, and we're going to see this break in the most spectacular way possible. Alexa, open Star Wars Databank.
I am AL3XA, Human-Cyborg Relations. How may I be of assistance?
Play the trailer for episode 1.
We had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you.
Well, that was an error. Alexa quit. And
I didn't find a match for well, that was an error. Alexa quit. But you can ask about
Alexa,
a character or a
quit. All right, I got a couple questions here, so let's answer that first. Jeff Nunn asked, and welcome Jeff Nunn, thank you for joining. I'm sure I missed this early on, but does Airtable create those IDs I saw in that data set? Yes, it does. Kind of. So they're automatically created, but what I do is I actually create a column somewhere. Maybe I hit it. I don't have any columns hidden. Usually I will have a column, let's go look at like vehicle, that is called record ID, and this is a function type column, so a formula. So you have all these different data type kinds, and you choose formula, and then the formula is just record underscore ID parentheses, and this will create a column for you that has all of the individual record IDs for you. They have been created, and they're there no matter what, but this is a much easier way to access them. So that's where they are, and there's a bunch of other like I don't think I have it for all of them, but there's also like a date created field and a bunch of other stuff that you can pull out. Those things all exist, but they're easier to use if you make them their own columns. Okay, and then Lord of Sound said, that looks like an original Echo Show. I assure you it's an Echo Show 5. It's one of the small screened ones. I do have behind me, I have the original Echo Show, I have the Gen 2 Echo Show, I have an Echo Show 8 coming to me hopefully this week, so we'll be able to play with that as well. But what I want to go do, and this is where I always have to go to the camera, because I can't let you guys see my logs, because that does show all of my API keys and whatever. I write all those things out. So we're going to go into CloudWatch, I assure you, and once I get into CloudWatch, I will get it to a point where I'm not showing API keys, and then I'll show you what we see. So let me sign in here really quick. We're going to go see what that error was that we just got, because we pushed some APL in, and you heard the Han Solo quote, the "Hey, we're fine here, everybody's fine, how are you?" That's my error. That's one of my error messages for right now. So I want to go into Star Wars Databank. I want to go look at the. No, that's not what I wanted at all. I went to the completely wrong place. Services, CloudWatch. Yeah, you're welcome to take a look. There's a lot of crazy stuff on this shelf, and I don't tend to rearrange them much. But like I said, I just added this Stan Lee right here. This is from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Boy, I'm really bad at this. Up and then this way. Shazam, and then I just added. This is Marty McFly from Back to the Future 1, I think. And this is Bluntman and Chronic from Jay and Silent Bob. There's always new things showing up. You never know. Anyway, digging into my logs. And we'll get to Star Wars Databank. And we'll look at that most recent error just to see if it gives me anything. Error handle. Table is not defined. Okay, so this is a code error. That's great. That's good news. Let's go take a look at what we did wrong. So, get specific data by ID. Is there a place where I reference table? Oh, I do right here. Because all I really need to do is get the name of the slot, and in this case, it's just, this is just remnants of me copying and pasting, which is great. These are easy things to fix. So this will always be media. So I can just hard code that in there. And this will be the same. Great. I love easy errors. Let's try that again. Let's see if we can't fix some things up. All right, Lambda is chunking along here. Ooh, a Funko Roomba. I'm on board. Sign me up. If it could just go around and dust all of the ones that I have here in my office, that would also be great, because they like dust. All right, we are almost updated with our function. We're good. I'm going to jump over here, and hopefully it'll just work this time. Alexa, open Star Wars Databank.
I am AL3XA, Human Cyborg Relations. What else can I provide information about?
Play the trailer for episode 1.
We had a slight weapons malfunction.
Okay.
But everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now.
Alexa,
Thank
quit.
you.
Okay, so that also didn't work. We're going to go back to camera. We're going to take a look at some logs again and see what our error is now. I'm sure it's another copy-paste kind of thing. Cannot read property trailer of undefined. So I'm hitting the trailer intent. What did it hear for my request? It heard episode 1. It matched that. It got me my ID. So I can show you guys this. This is what it looks like right now. So I'm hitting the trailer intent. I'm getting episode 1 as my value. You can see that I'm matching that here. And then I'm getting this ID. So there's something about me querying my data that is not bringing it back. So we'll have to play with that a little bit and do some logging. So let's go over to some code. And we are specifically trying to get specific data by ID. So what I'm going to do is log some things in there. But I am doing that specific item. So let's go back to camera and see what's going on with my logging, because I should have that specific item call in there. it's not even getting there. So why is that? If we look at our code here, we have, oh, because I'm an awful developer. This is an asynchronous call, and I needed to wait, and I didn't tell it to wait, so it was zipping right by, and I was ending up with code executing that didn't have the values that were required. So hopefully this will solve that by awaiting that function call, like I should have done the first time. S3 select certainly could be an option. The trick that I have is that it's much harder to provide other people access to an S3 bucket, and to have them understand how to manipulate and change your data. So I just find Airtable to be too easy, especially for external contributors. It's really hard for me to justify digging into something that's more technical and potentially confusing. But I agree with you. I think that those if I was building just by myself, I think that I completely agree with you, Jeff. All right, let's try this one more time. Alexa, open Star Wars Databank.
I am AL3XA.
Alexa.
Humans.
Play the episode 1 trailer.
We had a slight
Alexa, quit.
weapons malfunction.
All right, another error. Back to the logs. Let's see what it is this time. Error handled in calling All right, this is where I get crafty and start playing with URLs. Oh, come on. So unfortunately I can't do this on screen because API keys and stuff have to be shown to talk to these specific URLs, but invalid filter by formula is disabled. XZS, is that the right data value? We can look at this. I'm talking about media. I'm talking about episode 1, and the value should be, okay, I mentioned earlier to Jeff Nunn that asked about this, that I need the record ID column. Well, I was counting on that actually existing, and it didn't, so I just need to create this, and then we will be good on this one, I think. Save. That's good. Alexa, ask Star Wars Databank for the episode 1 trailer.
We had a slight weapons
Alexa,
malfunction.
Quit. So let's go here and we'll take one more look at the logs, because I'm just slowly but surely beating my way through this error. Still the same error. But I put it in the media table. I have record ID now as a column, so that should be working. What do you think is wrong this time? Invalid filter by formula. I don't know what else could be wrong. Because if I ask for another character, Alexa, open Star Wars Databank and tell me about Luke Skywalker.
You asked me about Luke Skywalker.
That's using
Luke
the same code.
Skywalker was a Tatooine farm boy who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the greatest Jedi the galaxy has ever known.
Alexa, quit.
Along with it.
So, in my code, which I would like to let you see, I have this get specific data by ID. And And then here I have record ID, or I'm passing in the ID, but that's the second value. That should all work great. But it's failing. Why is it failing? Table is here. The name of the table is media with a capital M. So that's all correct. It's thinking my filter by statement is incorrect. I just did the thing I didn't want to do. Let's jump back to camera. Oh, do I? Oh my gosh. Okay. The error was right there and I didn't see it. So if we come back here, the other column that I don't have on this one for whatever reason is disabled, and I mentioned that I use that for all of my queries. So is disabled is a checkbox. I don't know why I didn't add it to this one, although I don't know why I would disable specific media, but it feels like a thing I should still have. Let's try one more time. Alexa, ask Star Wars Databank about Episode 1. No, don't do that. Alexa, quit.
I didn't find a match for Don't Do That Alexa Quit, but you can ask about a character, or a
Alexa,
species, or a...
Play the trailer for Episode 1.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now we're beyond my errors, I think. I love debugging. It's my favorite. The specific item we got. Okay, so we're actually getting the item that I want out of the database, which has the URL to the trailer. All of that is good. And then the thing that I'm sending back is all of my APL. What was the error that I got? The device does not support Alexa.presentation.apl directives. Really? I feel like the Echo Show 5 most certainly does. Well, okay. Let's mute that device for a second. We'll try the one behind me here. Alexa, ask Star Wars Databank for the trailer for Episode 1.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Okay. Let's dig into some logging. The device does not support Alexa.presentation.apl directives. What am I doing? Oh, I know what it is. In here, interfaces. It's never going to let me do this if I haven't told it to turn on APL. I had the same issue with my TKO trivia skill, and we can turn all of these on, that's fine, but I hadn't turned these on. So I need to do that, and I need to save, and I need to refresh, and I wonder if I need to update this in my model or if this is just a thing that's here. So let's go back to APL, turn it on. Yeah, you can't send APL messages if you're not turning on that interface. So we'll save my interfaces. The model must be successfully built for changes to take effect. That concerns me. So let's look at the JSON editor. Is there stuff in here for interfaces? I don't think there is. Wouldn't be way after all my slot stuff, but no. Then it's probably in the skill manifest, which is here. There's probably an interfaces node for this that I don't know off the top of my head, which means every time that I push my skill, I will overwrite this and it'll stop working. So we should learn how to do that too. the easiest way for me to do this is to jump out of this and say ask clone. And I'm going to say, why can't I see the choice that I'm making? So I want Star Wars Databank. Oh, I don't think I really wanted that to happen. Well, we'll see. We'll see what that does. I meant to put it in another folder. Thankfully, I had just deployed everything, so I don't think I lost any changes. Ugh. Okay, so I was right. It does put that there. This, I don't want to be all that. I want it to be this. It just breaks everything. Man, there's so much about this that I hate. And I hate to say that on a stream, but I do. Okay, so now I guess we'll deploy everything again. I feel like I was referring to an API earlier. That's this. Okay. I can't find skill.json in the current working directory. Great. All right. We are redeploying everything, and hopefully we didn't break. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I just destroyed. We have 28 minutes left, so we'll see if I just ruined everything, or if that was acceptable. It's still not ideal. This is still such a broken process to me that I basically had to reclone my entire skill just to bring skill.json capabilities down, because there's no way to see that stuff in the developer console. All I wanted to know was how to add this interface to my skill thing, and there's no way to see it. So I could have gone and read a bunch of documentation, or I could do ask clone, and ask clone overwrote everything. So we've got these deleted files that have gone away, but we should be able to open this one and still have all of our code, hopefully. Looks like it's still there. They added in a bunch of junk I don't care about again. Alexa, open Star Wars Databank.
I am AL3XA, Human Cyborg Relations.
Alexa,
How may I?
show me the trailer for episode 1. No way.
I didn't find a match for No Way, but you can ask about a character, or a species, or a vehicle, for example.
Well, it didn't break. So that's the exciting news. It also didn't show the video, but it did show the box. So that's something. The other thing I want to see is, I know the sizing was weird in here. So I want to go back and see what the sizing for the image was that would have been here by default. We'll just apply that sizing. So if I look at the APL, The image was 70 VH by 90 VW. Okay. Because I think in mine, if we look at my APL, with 90 VH, what was it? 70 VH, 90 VW. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is try this on this guy again. So as soon as my code has deployed here, we'll give that one more try. Man, I would really like this to just work. And we're deployed. Okay, Alexa, ask Star Wars Databank for the Episode 1 trailer. Well, that's a thing. What else can I do to get that thing to play? Alexa, play.
I didn't find a match for play, but you can ask about a character, or a species, or a vehicle.
All
For
right.
example, what else can I provide information about?
Quit. I clearly have more to learn about playing videos in APL that I don't know today. But we've gotten ourselves to a place where I've totally ruined a lot of my structure of my code. I have this whole new folder here that I don't love. In fact, I'm going to rename this and see if I can't. This used to be custom. So hopefully that will be fine. And I don't think I need anything in the hooks, but we'll leave it for now. I have my APL folder, I have my node modules. I don't need all of these things, but I'll leave them. And then what is this? It's a new folder I haven't seen before. All right, that's what happens when you clone over your stuff. So that can go away, don't save. All these other files that got open for me. So the thing that we've learned today is that we can use APL and we can somehow tell it that a video should be on the screen, but it's not. My goodness, what are all these files? I don't know why it opened all these for me. So Michael Bender just added, here I guess I can go back to this. Michael Bender just added, maybe try in the console, APL is always squirrely to play with. I would think a device would work better, but we can go into the dev console here and go to test and see what we get. Ask Star Wars Databank for the Episode 1 trailer. So this doesn't even render it, which is, I mean, this is not a great display. This is also the completely wrong skill, which is weird. What? I get a trivia question? Open, quit. Let's do quit first. Open Star Wars Databank.
I am AL3XA,
Show
Human
me
Cyborg Relations.
Episode 1.
How may I be of assistance?
So I have my URL there. I still have the right APL, but it's not showing the video. Down here, I have the match, I have the episode 1, I have the ID, and the thing that I passed back does include, so I know I'm doing it right, it does include somewhere down here the actual source to my video, which if I were to copy this out of here and play it, voila, there's my trailer. So I'm giving it the right data. I have way too much APL for what I really want to do. I'm going to go back and try and create one from scratch, because I think for what I want I can do that. I want to create from scratch. I just want a video player to fill the whole thing. Autoplay it. Source is this. Scale is best fit. And do I have like dimensions, sizes? Entity ID, bind style, opacity, width. 100%. How about that? Oh, there we go. And height. 100%. How about that? What do you think about that? And then we'll just take this one, download code, and we'll call it that. And we'll open that file, and we'll replace the one that we have, and we'll have to change a reference. Whoa. We'll have to change a reference to where our video lives, because this is a much smaller file. So let's go open up our... Stop opening things I didn't ask you to open. Video player. Take that instead. And in fact, for right now, I'm just going to leave that hard-coded in there. Then I don't even need to change it. It keeps opening all of these files for me. With no easy way to close them. Okay, whatever. It's fine. So, video player here is saved. I need to go back to my index, because I don't need that line about where the template is, though I will eventually. So that's this. And in here, in my trailer intent, I had the thing that said, hey, update where the video lives. Don't care about that for now, because I'm just trying to get a video to play. So let's update our Lambda one more time. Oh. What did I break here? This just needs to be custom. Fixed? Did I fix it? You like that now? Michael Bender, I agree with you too. Cammy's definitely missed. She was a great addition to the team, but she's off living her best life on some other cool stuff. My error is what? Skill dot, is there two places I'm referring to it? This is extra saved at this point. What could be trying to use this when I've changed it everywhere? Let's find out. whatever this file is. Oh, the config. Nice. Okay, I can change that too. Custom. Maybe. Can I edit this file? Custom. Alright, how you like me now? Man. Good times. Good times this is, building in ways that I didn't anticipate. Alright, so let's see. This, at least this time we should have a full screen black box instead of the old template that we were using. And maybe this will get us where we want to be. Okay, it has updated. Alexa, ask Star Wars Databank for the Episode 1 trailer. Man. I really just want that to work. That would be so cool. That was going to be my big payoff. With 15 minutes to go, as we were going to get a video to play. My guess, if I have to guess, is that I've had issues like this with audio files, although those tend to throw errors. I wonder if I'm getting an error. Let me go look at the log real quick and just see if there's like some silent error that's happening that I'm not aware of. Nope, no error. The APL that I'm sending back looks legit. Okay, well, we'll try one more thing then. I do have, if we go back here, we're going to go to S3. We're just going to try to get a video to play. I have video files. If I go to Star Wars Databank, we go to trailer. I don't have any there, but I do. I think I have some of the crawls. We just want to show a video playing. That's all I really care about right now. So let's take the episode 1 crawl. We have this long URL, copy link address. If I drop this into a browser, I'm assuming this will just work. Okay. So let's go into our code, because this is, now I'm not pointing to Disney's file on the Star Wars website, but instead I'm going to point directly to a file living on my S3 bucket. Because theirs doesn't have like an extension or anything, it's just this weird thing that might need to resolve. So I guess there's the possibility that I've screwed something up there. So we'll just take the file that I have, the MP4 file, and we'll save that, and we'll push it up, and we'll see if that doesn't give us a different behavior. Because I really feel like if I have this video control in APL, and I put the video in, and I point it to a valid URL, and I say autoplay, I expect that it will autoplay the video, right? The APL is valid. I'm not breaking anything there. So we're really just in a place where it's not it feels like it's not finding the video, or at least can't resolve it, but not enough that it's going to throw an error. So we're going to go back to Alexa. Alexa, ask Star Wars Databank for the Episode 1 trailer. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. So I can't use those URLs. I'm going to have to pull the files off myself. But holy cow. Guys, we did it. We have succeeded. We've done it. We're playing the Phantom Menace trailer, or the crawl, but this would work the same way with any of the other video files. But this does mean I'm going to have to go get those files, save them in S3. Alexa, quit. I was really, I know you guys are maybe not watching or watching on the side, but I like the celebration. Awesome. Thank you, Lord of Sound, Startup, Michael Bender. That's, boy, that's huge. And what's cool about it is that I'm playing video, but if the user says anything, they still have full access to how the skill normally works. So they could ask for another trailer or another whatever. So now, now we've narrowed it down to just needing to have the data. So I'm going to have to go steal some video files, which I hate doing. But they're publicly accessible, and I would happily take them down if anyone asked me to. So I guess we're going to go down that path of making our own copies of those videos. And then I'll have all the crawls and I'll have all the trailers. And then we can ask for those things. Because I think this will be a really cool feature to be able to like see the opening crawl or see the trailers from some of the old movies. If you go back and watch, especially like episode 4, episode 5, the trailers are so bad. They didn't really know. I agree with you, Michael Bender. I might have problems certifying. We'll see. This is more a code experiment for me. This is pair programming with you guys. This is learning how to do a bunch of stuff. So if I don't get certified, I don't get certified. But yeah, this could be super cool. I would never consider showing the movies themselves, but I'm showing stuff that's available on YouTube and people have made their own copies of and stuff like that. I would never, ever, ever consider showing the films, but I would consider showing these little snippets. I think this is kind of cool. I'm super excited. That I expected more failure, and we did not get more failure. So I think I'm going to wrap up. We have 9 minutes left, but that feels like a really good place to leave off. I can go back to here. Actually, let's do this one last thing just so we leave things in a good place. I need to be able to change this video player item. So let's go look at our APL, and it is now document.items0.items0.source. We should fix that. So this was document main template items0 dot source. And then I'm going to push the trailer in there. So I'll have to change my data. I agree with you, Michael Bender. I think we will be able to figure this out. I also have the access to be able to just reach out to Disney and be like, hey guys, what do you think? So I may have to go down that path as well. But this was super cool, and I like the suspense, and I like that we ended on a high note, because I feel like a lot of times I try to do things that are a little out of the ordinary and we leave on a failure. So this feels really good. All right, we're going to wrap up here. I think we have that thing in place properly. I have to get the right data behind it to make it work. But yeah, I know some people. I have some connections. I've actually spoken at Disney, and I built a skill that I never published. There was a conversation with Kylo Ren. I ripped a bunch of audio files from the movies, and I scripted out my own conversation with him using only audio he'd had in the film. This was right after episode 7. And they thought it was cool, but they also had a lot of questions about how I did that, and so I had to be very transparent with them. Okay, with that, thank you guys all for joining. This was a great day today. I'm looking forward to coming back on Wednesday. I'm trying to do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but my travel's been crazy. But I'm not traveling again until after United States Thanksgiving. So I have at least 3 weeks where we should be able to do 3 days a week on this stuff. So, again, can't do this without you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, and I probably will be on office hours tomorrow as well, so tune in for that. With that, signing off. Thank you guys so much. Take care.